What is going on, everyone? Welcome to the pilot episode of the VinesPomcast. My name is Nick Kirby. You may know me. You probably don't know me. I'm the guy behind the Vines Connection Twitter account. Finally decided it was time to go mainstream and reveal myself to the world, although it's not really like that. But joining me is my good friend, longtime friend, Mr. Will Matthews of Did Liberty Win. Will, what is going on?
Man, I'm excited for basketball season. I hope I don't offend you by wearing my World Series championship hat right here. But after that World Series, so emotionally drained that I was watching football, Liberty football, and I was like, we just need some basketball to get back into it here. We need some basketball. So we got it tonight.
Well, those who have followed me at the Vines Connection know I'm all about the hoops. Love Liberty basketball. I'll tell you a little bit about myself here in a second, but Will, tell everyone in the world who maybe doesn't know you, follows you on Twitter at Did Liberty Win. Tell about your Liberty story or Liberty fandom, where you live, what you do.
Live in North Kakalaki, and pastor, and graduated Liberty 03, and no, 07. My bad.
Oh, it's like I wasn't there in 03.
Yeah, high school in 03. Then went to Liberty, graduated in 07. Just a big fan ever since I got on campus of everything Liberty. So,
yeah, absolutely. And so yeah, me and Will, I went towards the tail end of Will, his last couple years, I think. And Liberty basketball is the one thing that's kind of helped keep us in touch throughout the years. And it's kind of just a cool thing. You know, we were good pals, had a good circle at Liberty. And anyways, as you see behind me, I'm a big Reds fan. I write about the Reds. That's why I made the Vines Connection Twitter account. I kind of grew a little bit of a silly following with the Reds, and most Reds fans don't care about Liberty. I don't think most Liberty fans really care about the Reds. So created a second account, and some people, I guess, have liked it. So I thought maybe we'll try this podcast thing. I'm doing a Reds podcast, and kind of got set up for that and thought, hey, let's try this. Let's see what happens. So if you guys have any questions.
I think you're doing a great job.
Well, thank you,
sorry,
Will.
I think you're doing a great job with it.
I appreciate that. So if you guys have any questions or anything, or any comments or suggestions for the show, we're just trying to do something cool, talk about Liberty hoops. We are up on Apple and Spotify so far. I can get it up on any other platform that you want. Just let me know if there's a certain platform that you prefer. We should next week get the show live on YouTube. Couldn't get it on for the first week, but I should have it up and running next week. I will post the recording of this up on the YouTube channel Liberty Classic Games probably by the end of the night tonight. But it'll be up on Apple and Spotify in the morning, and that's about that. So all the housekeeping stuff out of the way, let's talk about the basketball team while we're here. How about the performance tonight? Liberty 85, Regent 24. You got a feel for the fellas from Regent. Darius McGee led the way, 21 points, 5 rebounds. He only played 16 minutes, and he scored 21 points. Van Zant and Peebles both had nice Liberty debuts. Well, what was your thoughts on the first game of the season?
I think about 3 minutes into it, I tweeted, men's basketball, yes. Because it was just from the beginning, just came out on fire. And I know it's Regent, but man, it really makes you look forward to what we can do against the LSUs and Missouris of the world. So,
yeah, I mean, it should be pointed out that I think Regent lost by like 50 points to Howard like 2 days ago. So, you know, take it for what it is. Liberty's offense just, you know, I mean, again, you're playing down to some competition, but Liberty's offense just looked electric. I don't know how Richie's going to set these rotations. I mean, my goodness. The teams we watched in 2005, 2006. I mean, there were some great players. Don't get me wrong. There were some really good players, but my gosh, like the ninth and 10th guys on this team, I
This is a
mean,
different level.
yeah, we're not even in the same stratosphere. It's just it's so exciting to watch. And maybe my biggest takeaway from the game was the crowd. I mean, they were playing. I'm sorry, I should know this. I don't even know what region is. Are they Division Two? Are they Division? I don't even remember. Like, they're not even playing a Division One
Yeah, I'm not
school,
sure.
and had a packed out crowd. Had a crowd that was into the game, energetic. That, for someone who went to some games with a couple hundred people, and maybe that was stretching it, it was awesome to see.
Yeah, I
But
was I was probably looking forward to most to seeing Liberty Arena field, and I was on campus back in October and just was able to look through the windows um, of the arena just to see how awesome it was. But I was looking forward to that. And then the other part about these games is you kind of look forward to seeing some guys that aren't going to get, some playing time later in the year, or at least meaningful playing time. So that was the other fun thing about it. It was going to be a big win, but you kind of want to see some of those new guys play. And so,
yeah, no one played over 22 minutes today. I mean, there was like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, about 10 guys that got more than 16 minutes. So you really got a chance to see everyone. Everyone kind of got an opportunity to get comfortable. Got to settle into some rotations real quick, because we'll talk about towards the end of the show. We'll preview the LSU game. But yeah, you go from region to LSU. Whew, what a sequence of events there. So, yeah, I mean, that's all I got on region. I mean, sure, I wish Liberty could have scheduled a real Division One opponent to kick off the year at Liberty Arena. I hope I can get there at some point. I do live in Ohio, so it's a little bit of a commute, but I'm hoping to get down there at some point and see the new arena. But yeah, I mean, no one wants to play Liberty now. I mean, no one wants to play Liberty even on a neutral if you're a good team. You want nothing to do with these guys. I mean,
yeah,
this is a team that'll come and ask Mississippi State and South Carolina. Do you want to play Liberty again?
yeah, it's a lose-lose proposition to play Liberty. So,
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so let's move over to the big news that's kind of dominating all of Liberty sports talk. Liberty joining the Conference USA 2023-24 season. I've got here the Ken Palm rankings. Of course, I'm the big Ken Palm guy, whatever. The teams in the red are the new CUSA. The teams not in the red are the old A-Sun. Jacksonville State, of course, coming with Liberty. I mean, you just see right there. I mean, this is a big jump up in conference. I don't think it's a leap that's going to be too crazy, as you see Liberty is still the top team, but barely. I mean, they're right there. Louisiana Tech, Western Kentucky, New Mexico State. I mean, these are some really good programs, big good programs for several years now. Jacksonville State, I'm really, really excited to see them in the A-Sun this year. I kind of wish Liberty was playing at their gym. I mean, that'd be a really tough game, but it could be a nice net boost, because I think they're going to have some decent computer rankings. UTEP, the team on there at 286, Middle Tennessee. One quick comment on them. They were playing in the 2013 First Four in Dayton. I actually went, living in Ohio to see Liberty play, and they were in the opposite game playing St. Mary's, the St. Mary's with Matthew Dellavedova, if anyone remembers them. And Middle Tennessee State had the best crowd there. Their crowd was insane. They had a ton of fans, and that's a decent drive. And I thought they really had a good following, so they actually have the old coach McDermott from UNC Asheville. So I'm interested to see. He's been there a couple years, hasn't really been able to get that program rolling, but they do, I think, put an emphasis and an effort into the basketball program. Kermit, I'm losing his last name. Kermit is now at Ole Miss. He was their coach before that. So, I think this is a good move up for Liberty. I don't think it's too crazy of a leap where, you could get swallowed up. But I'll shut up. Will, what's your thoughts on joining Conference USA?
I'm excited. At first, I think everybody was just thinking in terms of football. And so I definitely get the hesitancy with that, even though, I mean, I still think it's a great move for football. But when you look at basketball, like, I thought when we went, no numbers, just the eye test and team names and markets. Like when we went from the Big South to the A Sun, I was very excited about that because I was, you get to see Winthrop, a couple times a year and UNC Asheville. And that was kind of the big deal, like, but then we got to see like, teams with a little bit, Florida Gulf Coast. We all remember what they did, a couple years back. And, some of those teams like that. And so I was like, yeah, that's a good step. It's probably more like a lateral step, but I was excited about it. But I'm way more excited for Conference USA, Western Kentucky, Louisiana Tech. Like I just, it seems like we're not really tested in the ASUN. I'm looking forward to the time where we were in the ASUN and won the championship every single year we were in the ASUN. It's not going to be that easy in Conference USA. So I think it's great. I'm looking forward to it. I think it's awesome.
Yeah, Lipscomb that first year was insane.
Yeah.
And I think you have the potential to have that kind of games with Western Kentucky, New Mexico State, Louisiana Tech every year, or one or two of those teams are going to be, maybe potentially pushing like that top 75 teams in the country. And yes, I mean I think it's a really good move for basketball. And man, I'm excited. I can't wait to get it going. Interested to see what the TV deal would look like. I think Western Kentucky had like 6 nationally televised games that were either a conference game or a home game that's like part of your normal package. So it'd be interesting to see, will Liberty be able to get several, not playing at LSU nationally televised games? That
Yeah.
could be a cool advantage.
Yeah. Richie is such a great recruiter, Richie and staff, I should say. But I kind of feel like you go into a recruit's home and you say, well, we're in the A Sun. And it's kind of like, what is that? Conference USA has a little bit more name recognition. So I think
Yeah.
you know, not that Richie needs any help recruiting, but I think that's great for recruiting. So
And all over the country too. You're out
yeah,
in
exactly.
you're
Yeah.
out in New Mexico. Hey, yeah, we play that team down the road.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Can't say that in the
Yeah.
ASUN. All right, let's go to the main show. ASUN preseason player of the year Darius McGee. He was electric tonight. I don't even know why I even put this on here. What more can I say about Darius McGee? I mean, he's just an incredible player that, he was great his freshman year, but he just keeps getting better. And I'm interested to see, it kind of felt like towards the end of last year, all right, how much better can he get? We're going to talk about this a little bit in a minute about the point guard situation. It was very interesting to see him playing point guard tonight to start the game. It wasn't very long.
Starting the game. Yeah.
If Darius can become a better facilitator, that's maybe the one area of his game that he could really kind of get to like a next level. He's already a great rebounder. Like we knew that from like the first game when we saw this
Yeah.
this dude just snatching these balls from 6'9" guys. Like who is this kid? Like
Yeah.
how is he getting these rebounds? I don't know. You have any comments on Darius McGee? I love him. I love the guy. We might have our first technical
Yeah.
difficulties of the VinesPomcast.
I think we're good. I think we're back.
Okay, we're
Man,
back.
I wrote down. Yeah, I wrote down. Can we just go ahead and give Player of the Year to Darius? Because I mean, again, it's Regent, but you just kind of have a feeling like he's going to get better as the year goes on, anyway. And the level of competition is not going to matter. You kind of worry, like against some of these teams like LSU and Missouri, and into like the Diamond Head Classic. I mean, we have the potential to play Stanford and BYU and some of these teams like that. Like, is he going to be able to keep creating his own shot? But even if he can't, like if he can distribute as point guard and get other guys open shots, man, like he's a type of guy that even if he's not going to have his own shot or it's going to be on, like he's going to do a lot of the little things to help the team win. So, and also like one of the nicest guys ever, you know. He's easy to pull for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, he struggled in that Oklahoma State game, as did everyone. I mean, and Oklahoma State was an elite defensive team. I mean, that wasn't, um, you know, Cade Cunningham got all the accolades, but that team was just one of the top in defensive efficiency teams in the country. So they made a lot of really really good players throughout the year look bad. So I don't know about that narrative. I'm interested to see maybe how he plays against LSU and like you said at some of these other games he's got coming up. He did score 20 points back-to-back days against Purdue and Mississippi State last year.
Yeah.
He scored 15 in the NCAA tournament against Virginia Tech as a freshman. So, I think he can still find ways to score. I think if he also is kind of, maybe mixing up his game and facilitating a little bit more too, that would help. But I think it's going to have to be, as with any Richie coach team, it's going to have to be a team effort. But yeah, I'm so excited for him. Let's talk about the newcomers. Vincent looked electric tonight. Oh my goodness, this guy's a freshman. I mean, you see kind of his just raw athleticism and his playmaking ability. Brody looked good. And then some of these other guys, like I thought Isaiah Warfield played some really good minutes. He kind of has a knack to make plays. What do you think of the newcomers tonight? And anyone in particular you're excited about this year?
Man, exciting. Peebles was off the charts. Like just the way he was able to drive to the basket, get in and out, and pass the ball. That dunk to end the game, I came off of my recliner at that point. I mean, it's against Regent. I don't care. That was awesome. Warfield, man, he played hard. Like every time he was in there, there was like no wasted like effort from him at all. Like you kind of think, like I remember last year, like he had some pretty good games and then, didn't maybe play as much. And you kind of think like, is he playing hard because he wants more minutes this year, and he's got to prove it against some of these, beginning games. But man, like he's a kind of guy that you kind of think, okay, there's no Cuffy, but Warfield is one of those guys that could step in there the way he played tonight. So,
yeah, just so much talent, One of the best jobs among a billion things that Richie McKay has done for our program is this last year where he kept everyone. Like how many teams, you look across college basketball, every team, like I turn on a game and I'm like, wait, they're playing for him now? They're playing for them now? Like that dude was across the country last year. The fact that just about everyone came back just speaks volumes for the ability to just retain, these players and build into them and all those kind of things. He's really got his work cut out for him again this year because Richie does not play these super deep rotations typically. And maybe he'll expand it a little bit more with the talent that he has. A lot of these things sometimes will work themselves out. There'll be an injury or something like that. But Richie's definitely got his work cut out for him this year.
Yeah, and he's real big on like, wait for your time, And so, I mean, I just think he communicates that very well, that you're going to get your chance, but stay in it, stay with the system. And the longer these guys are practicing in this system and getting some of those minutes and stuff, like they just get better at it. So, I mean, it feels like the system that he has set up is not like it's set up for success down the road as well, So even when you lose some of your better guys, like you got another guy right there that's going to just step in and the team's not going to miss a beat.
Yeah, Blake Preston's like the best example of that.
Gosh. Yeah.
A guy like we didn't even. I honestly, I didn't even remember he was on the team. When we kind of got into last year, and he was one of the best players in the conference. Like, he played really well tonight too. I mean, he did. Yeah. I'm so impressed with just how aggressive he was, like at the jump last year for a guy that never played, like was buried behind Scotty and Mayo, never played, just like came out super aggressive, attacked the rim. Yeah, that's Blake Preston is Liberty basketball. Like if you want to like sum it up, I'd say Blake Preston is Liberty basketball, and that's awesome. It's fun to watch as a fan for sure.
Yeah, I kind of thought Blake was going to be like another Russell Monroe, like big guy and
Carter
just not,
McMaster's.
yeah, something like that. Like just, not going to be like a big impact player like you kind of think. But man, like as the season just went on, like he did not fade away at all. Like he just got better. And so I'm excited for him.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Sorry here. Moving on. What does Kyle Rode mean to Liberty? Our guy, Kyle Rode. I mean, this guy, he just does so many things, and he just seems to be getting, better. Like, um, I, as we kind of talk about like point guard, like I know Richie kind of said on the Flames podcast, Kyle kind of is like a point guard, kind of like a point forward, where he can kind of facilitate, and I think it's kind of interesting, you know, to think of him kind of in that role. What's your thoughts on Kyle Rode?
I mean, yeah, it looked like they were kind of running the offense through him a lot tonight. I just think as far as, him running the point, you kind of, besides Darius, you kind of feel like Kyle has the most experience on this team now. Um, well, I guess they're the same class, right? Are they both same? They're seniors, juniors, seniors. I don't know. It's too late for me to start thinking about this stuff, but
um,
uh,
no, Darius is a class ahead.
okay, yeah, yeah.
But they
Sorry.
could end up, but with the extra free year, they could end up graduating the same
Yeah,
time,
yeah, yeah,
or leaving the
yeah.
same
That's
time,
right.
not graduating.
Yeah. Uh, yeah, I mean, it just seems like he's got the experience to do that, and he does a good job at it. He's kind of one of those guys that, he's like another one of those guys. I feel like Liberty has a lot of these guys that they just do a lot of little things right. And Kyle's definitely that. They were talking about on the broadcast tonight about how like he's the vocal leader of the team, and you kind of wonder this year, does he take another step forward, like in his development? Um, you know, I want to see him have like an edge to him. I want him to be like Liberty's version of Tyler Hansborough for Carolina back in the day, Psycho T, like Psycho Kyle Road, like just all out, just uh, fighting for everything, like doesn't care. Um, Also, by the way, one of the nicest guys ever. We met him at the Sea Red tailgate at homecoming, and kids got pictures with him and Darius, and like the guy could not be any nicer. I don't know if he could have that same type of demeanor as Tyler Hansborough, so it's probably not a good comparison. But
I feel like he did kind of show a little bit of that in the ASUN championship game last year. I feel like he was really, really amped up, played really, really well in that game. But yeah, I love that. I like that thought of Kyle. Maybe get him a little ticked off. Maybe one of the jokesters, maybe Shiloh can get like under his skin or something, and kind of fire him up and get him riled up. But yeah, I like that, that analogy with him. And I think, you don't want him to be too aggressive where he's, losing some of his value, which is kind of, distributing, kind of doing a little bit of everything. But there may be some times where maybe he could be a little more aggressive and, picking when and where to do that. That just kind of comes as you get more experience, and yeah. So under the radar player to watch. I have one, and now I like want to say Vincent after
yeah,
watching tonight. But let's stick with who we had before. Who you got, Will?
yeah, I went with Shiloh. He's a guy that you know over the last couple of years, you kind of see his development playing out. I think this year could be like a breakout year for him. but yeah, after watching tonight, I was thinking maybe I should have changed that to somebody else. But yeah, I mean, he was. I was looking at the some of the clips that you had posted this week of the ASUN tourney and stuff like that. You go back to just the way he played through the tournament last year, that game against Bellarmine, against Oklahoma State. He had like 4 points, but he had like, 3 blocks, and they were huge. He's a guy that I just think, developing in Richie's program is going to pay off. And I think he could have like a breakout year where you're like, man, this guy right here is the real deal, and he's going to carry Liberty the next 2 years. So,
Yeah, I was very interested in seeing him start at the 4 today. And again, it was just for a few minutes, but I was interested in that. Can he hit enough threes? Because Richie wants at least, I think, four quality shooters out on the floor at a time. But yeah, I think Liberty's ceiling is so much higher if they have a really, really good Shiloh, and he's certainly, shown some signs of a potential breakout this year. I definitely, I'm with you on Shiloh. My guy is a B. He started out so strong last year, kind of got a little, buried as a lot of players do in a deep team. He played 16 minutes tonight, scored 4 points, 2 of 3. Wasn't really kind of all over the place, but again, this game's kind of hard to gauge. I just kind of think, Liberty might be a little less deep with their forwards, especially if they're going to play Preston and Shiloh together. That also could really help a B get some more minutes. So I'm interested to see. He seems like he's got a lot of talent. He's a very raw player, kind of like Shiloh. So I'm interested. I think he could be a guy that at the end of the year we go, oh wow, he had a big leap. So. And then we kind of teased it earlier, but who plays point guard in 2021, 2022? Richie kind of threw us for a loop, and it was Darius for the first couple minutes tonight.
Yeah.
Chris Parker, I feel like was really underrated. I feel like he was a guy that, he came in and was that bridge from the Georgie Pacheco Ortiz machine for at Liberty for 4 years. He was a little wild at times, but if you go back and watch some of the game, man, when Liberty really needed a bucket, he was a guy that could just go get you a bucket, go make you a play. So I think he's missed this year, I think, more than maybe we gave credit for. But yeah, I mean, Darius, if he can play some point, that helps out. I think it'll be kind of by committee, and Richie's, kind of alluded to this. What's your thoughts on the point guard situation?
I was thinking before tonight, I would have probably said, it's Drake Dobbs' job to lose. Just because he played pretty well last freshman year. I mean, Georgie left and Caleb and we lost all those guys. Mayo, Scotty. You're kind of thinking like, we're not going to be as good, But Parker stepped in, did a great job. Dobbs did a good job when he was in there, and so my thought was, it's his until he proves otherwise. He's going to be the primary guy. But then Brody tonight, and you're like, I don't know. We'll see. I mean, but Richie is the kind of guy that, I mean, he's probably going to play different guys at point. So who knows? I feel good about it though.
Yeah, very interested to see, what he does against LSU. Peebles and Dobbs each played 20. Van Zandt played 22. So it was as split as it could get, tonight. And they were playing together at times, of course. But yeah, interested to kind of see, it's one of those things where I would imagine there's probably a lot of debate in his head. Which guy do I kind of give a little bit more minutes to? And I'm sure he'll probably feel it out as the game goes along. But that leads us to it. Liberty at LSU, Monday, 7 o'clock, ESPNU, right off of the jump. LSU, they are coming off a 101-39 win, and this was against a Division I opponent, Louisiana Monroe. They also play. They still have another game. They play Texas State, who's 149 in Ken Palm tomorrow night. Ken Palm has Liberty as a 9-point underdog on the road. LSU is a super talented team, but they don't have a lot of continuity. They have a lot of guys that haven't played together. Xavier Pinson, I know he was a guy that had a big game with Missouri. He was on Missouri last year. Will, do you give Liberty a chance on Monday night?
I mean, I think when it's early in the season like this, I think anybody has a chance. LSU was picked, I think, 6th in the SEC, so the top half. I mean, I think it's gonna be tough, but I could see it. I think nobody expected us to beat UCLA or Mississippi State last year, South Carolina. So yeah, for sure, we have a chance.
Yeah, had a pretty good run recently against SEC teams with
Yeah.
South Carolina, Mississippi State twice, Vanderbilt. So yeah, it'll be interesting. I kind of hope that LSU goes and beats the brakes off of Texas State and kind of is coming in 2-0 with 2 blowout wins, and then has Liberty come in and kind of gets a kind of a rude awakening as to the pack line and having to play a disciplined ball game. So let's talk about the rest of the schedule this year. Pretty good schedule overall. I think one of the more competitive schedules. I kind of have some highlights here. Right after this, Iona and Manhattan, 2 mid 100 Ken Palm teams. So capable teams, especially on a neutral floor. Teams that you would expect Liberty to beat, but should be some good competitive games. Missouri coming to Liberty Arena on December 2nd. I know we are all super excited about that. If they were rocking tonight for Regent, I can only imagine what Missouri will be like. Stephen F. Austin, they're another kind of middle 100 Ken Palm team. Liberty's playing on a neutral court in Fort Worth, Texas. Not sure how neutral that is. And then the big Diamond Head Classic right around Christmas. Actually, the championship game is on Christmas Day. The potential of a Liberty BYU Christmas Day game. I am dreaming of that. That would be just incredible. And then Liberty will get their first taste of Jacksonville State on January 29th. That's the second best team in the ASUN according to Ken Palm. And then, of course, the Liberty will be hanging with Jacksonville State into the Conference USA. Liberty does not play at Jacksonville State this year, so they only come here.
Yep.
So what are you kind of looking forward to with the schedule this year?
Definitely looking forward to that Missouri game. First P5 team since Clemson, and that was not a fun game to watch. That was rough.
Was that like a 10 a.m. tip? Like they replaced Convo with that?
Yeah, that was wasn't ESPN doing like a 24 hours basketball, and we just drew that game that was not good. But we had played Clemson the previous year, pretty tight down at Little John, but we had a completely different team and a different coach, and that coach is back now. So yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to that game. I think it's awesome. And I mean, I hope in the coming years we can get some more teams like that to come to Liberty Arena. Looking forward to the Diamond Head. Looking forward to the Hall of Fame tournament in Charlotte. And that's they play East Carolina in that, but that's kind of a big deal to be in that tournament. I mean, we should be East Carolina for sure. That's a team that's pretty close to where I'm at.
I remember when Liberty beat East Carolina, and it was a big deal. I remember it was like, I think it was my freshman year, they beat East Carolina, and it was like a huge deal.
Yeah.
And now it'd be like a footnote on the season. Like, and that's awesome.
Yes.
That's just how far the programs go.
Yeah, I remember the first time we played East Carolina at East Carolina. I was there, and I think Alex McLean had like a last second layup to win the game,
Yeah, I was
and
there
it
with you.
was yeah. Were you there? Okay.
Yeah, I was there for that one. That was one of my
Yeah. Okay.
that was one of my first games. I think. I think it was
Okay.
my freshman year. I think it was one of my first games. Like, oh wow, this is great.
Yeah.
There were some lows before the highs. But we won't go
Yeah,
there.
for sure. I think I think some of these games are toss up games. I don't expect us to meet Missouri, but it wouldn't surprise me if we did. On a home court cooking. Same with LSU. Wouldn't surprise me if we beat LSU. Um, so some of these games are kind of toss up games. Northern Iowa. That's to me, it's a little bit of a toss up. I hope we come out on top on that one. Um, but yeah, and then even going into the conference, I think there's a couple of toss up games as well. But
Yeah, Northern Iowa has actually
overall, I
started.
still think we are still ASUN champions at the end of the year.
Yeah, Northern Iowa has actually started 0-2. They lost to Nicholls State and they lost tonight again to Vermont. So
Okay.
they are already 0-2. They were a team that I know I saw John Rothstein actually tweet out today. They had at-large aspirations, so they have a brutal schedule. Before they still play Arkansas, St. Bonaventure is in the top 25, Richmond, and Marshall before they play us.
Oh man.
So they are going to be battle tested. So I don't know if that'll be a good thing or not. Hope.
That's the kind of schedule I think we kind of want to. You know what I'm saying? Like we
Absolutely.
Yeah. Reed and Kentucky Christian. Just hope we can do better next year.
Yeah, absolutely. And one last thing on the schedule before we get into our predictions here for the season. I wonder if maybe there will be a little bit some teams maybe more interested in coming to Liberty Arena just with the way the net is structured, because Missouri knows, hey, this could be a quad one win if we go to Liberty and get a win. I mean, Liberty's probably going to be right around that threshold this year. Liberty will definitely be a quad two team. When you're playing at home, because you get or when you're playing on the road, because you get the big boost for the road. So I don't know, maybe Liberty can kind of use that to their advantage when scheduling. Say, hey, you want to come get a quad one win? You think you can do it? And I don't know. It could be an interesting advantage if it works out the way. All right, so we're gonna assume that there is 34 games this season. Before the NCAA tournament, or wherever Liberty would fall, that would be Liberty getting to the ASUN championship game to get 34 games. So we just did it just to have a round number. Well, what is your prediction for the season?
I said 29-5. I feel like maybe 2 or 3 out of conference losses, and I'll say 3 out of conference losses, 2 in conference losses. I feel like some of those Kentucky, Jacksonville State, one of those games we may drop because they're good teams. So that's what I went with.
Yeah, I think you're. I think you're in the ballpark. KenPom has Liberty predicted to lose 6 games during the year. They actually don't have all the games on there though, because of course they don't know who they're going to be playing in some of those tournaments. So they have Liberty at 23-6. But KenPom has been conservative, I think, on Liberty both the last 2 years. Liberty is actually, in all the games that they have, they are favored to win every single one of them except for LSU. But KenPom is just saying you're going to lose some games that you won't. So I'm going to say the 6 losses is right, but I'm going to say they win all those other games, or some are flipped. I'm going to say 28-6. It's hard to do that every year. As excited as we are for the program, I think we gotta remember how difficult it is to win all these games, especially when you are the hunted dog. I mean, every game in the ASUN, Liberty is getting every team's best shot. Liberty is like the Winthrop, that we saw back in the Big South days, where hey, you get up for that game. Hey, this is a game we want to go win. We want to make a statement or whatever other cliche thing that you want to say. And then as we kind of get into the ASUN tournament, 3 in a row. that's. I'm not sure we really all digest how difficult that is. I think if you're a fan of college basketball and you watch a lot of these other conference tournaments, the top seed does not win a lot of these. Probably like half of them there's upsets in these tournaments. So it is really hard, and I think there will be some good competition in the ASUN tournament. But yeah, I'm hopeful we can get back to the dance again and get another shot at someone. It'd be awesome to get in the at-large conversation at some point. I think that's probably unlikely, but Liberty has the schedule that is possible, and I think that's just a cool thing in itself.
Yeah, I think we would definitely need some help from some bubble teams losing to get in that conversation. I think Eastern Kentucky, Jacksonville State, Bellarmine, all very good teams. We'll probably at some point drop one of those games. And then usually there's the team that we don't expect that sneaks up on us, like a Jacksonville, or North Florida.
How about Stetson being the first ASUN game of the year on the road, like the Liberty's kryptonite, Stetson on the road? I don't think that was a coincidence. I think that was, and I love it. I think that's awesome. I think that's great. Kind of jump right out. Hopefully Liberty's ranked when they're playing Stetson. That'd be cool.
That would be great.
Stetson would be the kind of team that would like ruin it for us. They just credit to them, man. I love their what they were able to do. They've had our number a couple of times, and good for them. Hey, they're building a program. Well, Will, this was fun, man. I enjoy this. I hope the 5 or 6 people that maybe watched us enjoyed it too. We'll do this semi-regularly. I'm not gonna make a set thing like we're gonna do this. Hey, maybe we knock off LSU. Maybe we'll do a show next week. But we'll definitely do a show here at some point, again, maybe before the Missouri game, and kind of do this throughout the year. And so, again, give us a follow on our Twitter accounts. I'm sure you are if you're watching this. Apple Podcasts and Spotify, we're up there. The VinesPomcast, should be able to just search and find it. And then there's also links on my Twitter account. And then we will also be, hopefully next week, we'll be broadcasting this live on YouTube on the Liberty Classic Games channel. Again, there's a link on my Twitter account. And I'll have this posted up as a replay up on YouTube. If you want to watch it up on your big screen, see our beautiful faces on the big screen. Will, any other final thoughts before we get out of here?
Go Flames. It's my final thought.
Go Flames. See ya.